Good evening. How's it going, Clarity Men's Community? Hope you're doing really, really well. It is absolutely brilliant to be able to be with you this evening whenever you're watching this. I was going to say episode, like it's an episode of EastEnders or something. But this training, whenever you're watching this, it's really great to be able to support you and to bring you this week's training because it's a key piece of training that we're going to do this evening. So where we're currently at is that we have spent last week we spent time looking at our mind and looking at how our mind works, in particular how our own perception of the world is a projection of what beliefs, what values, what experiences we've had in our life. And I know that was quite a challenging I guess concept to leave you guys with last week, this idea that perception is projection and we experience reality from the inside out. But if you can really get that and you can really begin to take full responsibility for how you're showing up in life and the emotions and the feelings that you feel on a consistent basis. So we've also covered goal setting. So right now, everybody should be at the stage where you have 90-day goals, 60-day goals, 30-day goals, and non-negotiables in place. And from here on in, we're going to be referring back to those goals. So my plan and my idea for us as a group is that we constantly are in a place where we're growing and we're moving forward towards the lives that we want to build and we want to create, towards our sense of fulfillment and our sense of purpose, but also that we're becoming and being more of the men that we're called to be. So this is all part and parcel of that. I'm just going to get the screen up here, share screen with you guys, and we can get started then in this week's training. And just as I'm preparing this, I just want to remind you guys um, to keep up to speed or up to date with the WhatsApp group and the Facebook group. I know we're all in a million and one different WhatsApp groups, and WhatsApp groups can, I guess, be a drain sometimes on our energy. I do get that, but I would love you guys to continue to be sharing your wins and to be sharing your successes, only because it's a really important part of encouraging each other as we're going along this journey, so that we can all kind of that idea that iron sharpens iron, so that we can all become sharp from each other's wins and we can celebrate each other's wins and we can stay in that momentum. So just a quick encouragement to be sharing your wins, to be asking questions, and all that kind of stuff, and just keep that group alive. So if I go to slideshow here and start from here, and we'll just wait for this to load. Fantastic. Okay, guys, welcome to week 6. Week 6 has a bit of a creepy, I guess, title, What Lies Beneath. I think there's a movie called that, What Lies Beneath or What's Beneath. I'm sure there is somewhere. So what lies beneath? That's what we're going to be exploring today. What lies beneath success in particular. So how are we going to create the success that we want and the success that we desire? What lies beneath this thing called success? There was a poem written, and it's in a book called As a Man Thinketh, and it's a very old book. And the poem goes like this: Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and, shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. James Allen, 1903, as a man thinketh. Mind is the master power that molds and makes. If you think about it, we all have this life energy that flows into us and through us. It's what keeps us alive on this planet, life energy. And we all have the same amount of life energy that is flowing through us because we all have the same amount of life within us. But we all don't have the same amount of how we are spending our life or how we are using our life. And right at the very beginning, this writer in the book says, mind is the master power that molds or makes. So this powerful tool that we've been gifted, our own mind, is the master power. It has the ability to be able to mold and make and shape our lives. If you think right the way back to last week, and we were talking about the imprint period and the conditioning period, at that moment in time, you absolutely had no control over what was being programmed into your mind at that time. But now that you have your six faculties of mind, your six mind faculties, one being the power of reasoning, you have this ability to be able to use your mind in a creative way, in a powerful way, to mold and shape and make things in your life. And the way that you do that is you take what he is calling the tool of thought. We all have so many thoughts that run through our mind. And sometimes we're not even aware of what we're thinking. They're just happening automatically. All these thoughts, a little bit like a train station, trains just passing by and passing by and passing by. And sometimes a train or a thought might stop and might stay in our mind for a while. And we might jump on that train or on that thought and go for a little journey. But the thing that we haven't been taught about is the power of thought. That even by our own thinking, we are shaping things in our life. So if you think there's I think it's Henry Ford as well said this, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right. So if you think you, and this sounds very, very simplistic, and sometimes it is as simplistic as this. If you think you can do something, you're going to do it. You're going to put more effort in. If you think you can't do something, you're going to limit yourself and you're going to limit the amount of effort you put into achieving something. And this is something that I was actually talking with my daughter about, is the power of language and how we speak and how we think about things that we're going to do can either limit us or propel us forward. They can limit the amount of energy that we give to something, or the amount of time that we give to something, or the amount of energy that we can give to something, or our own thinking can really help us feel confident, feel good, put more time in, put more effort in, put more energy in, and get different types of results. And it all begins with this thing called the tool of thought. So, how we think and what we think. You know, if you want to get a new job, for example, but you really believe that you're not good enough if you can't get that, you know, you're using your thought life to create something. And usually we create negativity in our life through our thought life. And what I'm planting the seed right now into your guys' mind is, how can we begin to use our thoughts and this tool that we've been gifted to be able to shape what we want? Because as the writer says, it can bring forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. So we want to bring so much joy and so much happiness and so much, I guess, success in inverted commas, whatever that means for you, into our lives. And it starts with how we're thinking. It starts with what we're giving focus to in our minds. And he thinks in secret. So and for me, that's talking about our unconscious mind. What are the thoughts that are happening in our unconscious mind? Because as we all know, our unconscious mind is 95% of our mind. It's the majority of our mind. Our conscious mind is 5%. The things that we're aware of at any one time is only 5%. So we want to be able to access our unconscious mind, access the thoughts that are happening in secret, so that we can begin to create a life that we really want. We can begin to create the relationships that we want. We can begin to change our identity and how we feel about ourselves, um, at a fundamental level, so we can let go of some of the hurts and the pains of the past, and can heal those things so that we can feel more aligned, and more congruent and more authentic in who we are. So right off the bat, you can pause this, and grab yourself a pen and paper, and just do this little activity really quickly. So this activity is just getting you to think about the mindset of an achiever. The reality is that we've all set 90-day goals. I've set my own 90-day goals, as well. I've set my whys. I've done the whole process the same as you guys have done. And what I want to be able to achieve my 90-day goals. And I'm sure you guys want to be able to achieve your 90-day goals and your 1-year goals, as well. But what does it take to actually achieve? What does it take to be successful? What does it take to be able to set a goal and follow it through and to be able to do that? So I want you just to take a moment and think and answer these questions. So question number one is, if you think about the mindset of an achiever, someone who is proactive, someone who sets goals and goes out and achieves them, what are the beliefs, the thoughts, and actions of someone who is successful in their life? And then contrast that with what are the thoughts, beliefs, and actions of someone who is unsuccessful? So somebody who maybe doesn't set goals, or somebody who is reactionary in life all the time and just allowing life to happen to them. And I want you just to look at what are the noticeable differences between the both. What are the differences in belief? What are the differences in thought? What are the differences in action? But also, what are the differences in energetically, like how these people may feel about life and about themselves? So do that, and then I want you to embed this, and really anchor this in for yourself. I want you to think of a time that you were successful in the past, a time when you possibly set a goal and you achieved that thing that you said you were going to achieve. And think of that time, and what was it at that time that made it a success for you? So really think about that thing and feel that thing. Close your eyes, go back, reminisce, get the feeling back, and maybe play it like a movie in your mind, and ask yourself, what was it that made it a success for you? Because here's the thing: if you can do it once, you can do it again by repeating the same strategy. So we've all been successful in things in the past. We've all had moments where we said we're going to do something and we've followed through, or that we've excelled in something, or that we've achieved something meaningful in our lives. And there's an old saying in, I guess, this personal development industry, that success leaves clues. So by thinking about maybe, times in your life where you're successful, it's leaving clues about how you can create this success in your life again. Equally as much as if you think about someone in your life who's really successful, success leaves clues. What is it they're doing and thinking and believing that is creating that success for them? So maybe take 10, 15 minutes, do this exercise, do this activity, and then you can join us back when you're finished. Enjoy. See you in a moment. Okay, so hopefully you have paused that video and you've done that exercise. If not, it's a great exercise just to go and do at some other point. So we're just going to move on. So what does success actually mean to you? Success to me is one of those words. It's a buzzword in personal development, isn't it? And it's a word that means different things for different people. And I think sometimes there's a lot of pressure, especially these days, for success to look a certain way. And it's even one of those words that, as I said, it makes me cringe a little bit, like, because there's so much, I guess, connotations that come with success. And there's so many people out there that are selling the dream. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here I'm here to sell you on you. Um, I'm not here to say that, in the next 5 weeks that you're going to create the most wonderful life. I'm here to sell you on you, to say that you are the most amazing, resourceful, powerful person who can shape and mold and create their life by healing from the past, becoming more authentic, and learning how to set and achieve goals, and aligning everything to a mission and a purpose. So that being said, what does success mean to you? What does success look like to you? And we've already, dabbled in setting goals and that kind of stuff. But even if you fast forward it from now, to a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, what would have to happen in your life for you to believe that you were successful? How would you be showing up? How would you be feeling? What would be different? Um, just take some time to answer that question, because it's back to that thing that I've been saying, that if you don't know where you're going, you'll never know when you end up there. We got to set some sort of intention in some sort of direction. So what does success mean to you? And just take a moment to write that down as well. And this is something that we've visited before. Um, Again, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So success isn't really about the achievement of a goal, a dream, an ambition. It's about the progressive realization of that. So success is measured in progress. So how are you currently progressing towards the things that you want in life? How are you progressing towards your 90-day goals, your 60-day goals, your 30-day goals? Because the success there, and the progressive nature of achieving things means that you are pushing the boundaries, you're pushing yourself out of comfort zones, you are doing the work in order to become more I guess, aligned with your true authentic self. And I've said this before, that it's about who you're being as opposed to what you're doing. So the progressive realization of a goal, a dream, and ambition is directly linked to how it creates who you're being in that moment. And for some of us, we may need to alter our idea of success. Maybe our success is put in like a financial amount of money or a thing that is outside of us. But success is really an inward thing. It's an inward thing of becoming more aligned with your authentic self. So what does it take to achieve success? That's the real question that I guess we're going to grapple with. The first thing that I would say that it takes is the ability to set an intention. And we've talked about it 2 seconds ago. So, what is an intention? An intention is it's less specific than a goal. It's more like a dream or an idea. It's not really, specific and measured and timed and all of that kind of stuff. It's a little bit more, what's the word, aloof or complex, or it's chunked up to a higher level. So your intention could be in the next year, I want to feel more healthy and more alive than I've ever felt before. Or my intention is to grow my business to a turnover, to a six-figure business. Or my intention is to be the best father that I can be. My intention is to be the best husband that we can be, that I can be. So intentions they're not timed, they don't have a specific date. So to become successful, you gotta set an intention. You gotta know what it is that you want and what you desire in life. The next thing that you need to be able to do is to take action. And that's really simple. It's about setting goals. It's about getting goals from your mind onto a bit of paper into your diary so that they're actioned and you're taking action every single day in creating the things that you want. Some people that are in the personal development field talk a lot about like positive thinking. It's all about positive thinking. It's not about positive thinking. If it was only about positive thinking, then the whole world would be a happy place. It's not about the law of attraction either. Um, it's partly to do with that, but without action, nothing happens. You can think positively all your life, and you can learn how to, you can learn how to attract and manifest things into your life, but without action, nothing happens. So success is about action, but it's also about awareness. It's about becoming aware of, back to the one of our first sessions, is when you're reacting and when you're responding. It's being aware of our triggers. It's being aware of our patterns. It's being aware of how we sabotage ourselves. It's being aware of our beliefs, and not just awareness of ourselves, but it's awareness within our own businesses, within our own families. How we are contributing to the business, what are the patterns that we're in, how we're contributing to the relationships, all of that kind of stuff. So we become aware of ourselves, but we become aware of the things that we're creating as well, our behaviors, and the results that we're getting. So our level of awareness needs to rise, but not just becoming aware for becoming aware's sake, but so that we can shift from reaction to responding, so that we can respond and take action on the things that we're becoming aware of. So if you're becoming aware of a certain pattern of self-sabotage or arising again, then it's about dealing with that and moving beyond that, and still moving towards the things that you want, and letting go of those old patterns of self-sabotage. So it's awareness and action, and then you repeat that again. So intention, action, and awareness are three things that you need in order to be able to achieve success. So if you think about your what you're going to be doing in the next 90 days, you've some of those things in place. You got to be taking action now and becoming aware of the patterns that will arise, and do something about those. Okay. And that means coming back to your emotional base and maybe doing some reflection work or belief change work. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So one of the things that really drive your success is the amount of belief that you have. Like I said at the beginning, every single person has the exact amount of energy and potential that that is alive within them, and how much energy and how much of that potential that you tap into really depends on the amount of belief you have. So let's start with belief. The amount of belief you have determines the amount of potential you can tap into at any one time. So if you have a really strong belief in who you are and what you're about and your ability, you're going to tap into a lot more of your potential. So the amount of potential that you tap into determines the amount of action that you take. Okay. So I've got a lot of potential I'm tapping into. I'm going to take a lot of action. So the amount of action that I'm going to take actually determines the results that I get. So if I'm believing that I can do something, and I'm accessing a lot of my own potential, I'm taking a lot of action, my results are going to be better, and they're going, maybe not perfect, but I'm going to get good results as a result of really believing. And what that does is that feeds your belief. So if I have a belief that I'm good and I'm getting good results, then that's feeding that belief in myself. So what does this mean for us? It means that in order for us to be able to really tap into that unlimited potential that we all have, we got to be aware of the beliefs that we have about ourselves. And that's what we're going to look at today. So again, Albert Einstein wrote this: no problem can be solved by the same kind of thinking that created it. Okay, so if you're looking to achieve something you haven't achieved before and to be consistent in that, it can't, that challenge can't be solved by the same kind of thinking or belief system that created it. We gotta look, we gotta look deeper. Um, and for a lot of people, what we do when we go to set goals is we start at, this is called the logical levels of change. So at number one there at the bottom, when we're looking to change things, we change things in our environment, or we change things in our behavior. So our environment, we might look at, when I'm doing something or where I'm doing it or who I'm doing it with. So take, for example, if you want to become more fitter, I might, choose a gym that I want to go with somebody, and set times and dates and all of that kind of stuff that I'm gonna I guess that I'm going to go to the gym at. The other level that I might look at is some of my behaviors. So it's behaviors are what you say and do. So I might look at, do you know what? When I go to the gym, I'm going to do these particular exercises because I want to be fitter. So I'm going to run on the treadmill. And actually, I'm going to ask my friend to keep me accountable. And he's going to keep me accountable, right? Level 3 then might be around my own capability. So it's this is where we look at how I'm going to do something. So I might go to the gym and trying to be, I guess, getting fitter and realize that it's taken too long. So I might, look at my own knowledge and my own skills and my own competencies and think, do you know what, it's not actually helping me. So I might go and hire a personal trainer to really help me up my performance, which is at behavior level. And hiring someone who's really at an environment level as well. So usually people, when they're going to set goals, stay in these first 3 things. Now, the challenge is that if I'm trying to be fit, but I have beliefs and values, which is your why you're doing something, what I believe to be true about myself and what I believe to be right or wrong. If I have an identity, a belief that I am unfit, I can't get fit, I'm overweight, and I actually don't value exercise, and the idea of health isn't on my top 5 values, then I'm going to self-sabotage. At the very least, I'm only going to do it for a while and give up. So the amount of belief that you have is really, really important. The level that I like to work at is your identity. So when you're thinking about your 90-day goals, if you think about in 90 days time, who have you become in 90 days? If you were to achieve your goals and really achieve them really well, who would you have become? Who would you need to be in order to achieve those things? Because when you work at an identity level, you're working at a really deep level where all of these other things come more naturally. And you can see the power of belief in this image here. An elephant is so powerful. An elephant, I don't know how many times. Oh wait, why can I pronounce this? So an elephant can lift more than its own body weight, but I don't know how many times more of its own body weight it can lift. But you see it in circuses, and you can see it in these images where elephants are tied to a little stake, and even though they're one of the most powerful animals in the world, they cannot break free from that stake. And they cannot break free because they have been conditioned from being small right the way up to being a big adult powerful elephant, that they cannot break free. So an elephant might try to break free when it's younger, and it doesn't have the strength to be able to do that. So then it develops a belief and an understanding that it's stuck there, that there's no point in trying anymore because I've tried before in the past and I haven't been able to release myself. And that's the same with our own beliefs. We have these beliefs We have beliefs about who we are. We have beliefs about the world. We have beliefs about people and things and the environment. And we have beliefs about absolutely everything. We also have things that are called core beliefs. These are and usually they're core limiting beliefs. Um, and these core limiting beliefs are things that get in the way of us becoming who we really are created to be. And as the phrase says there, you are only limited by the beliefs in your mind. You're only limited by the beliefs in your mind. So, who you want to be and what you want to create and what you want to have and do in the world, you're only limited by the beliefs in your mind. Now, you might say, well, that's not true. I don't have enough money. That's true. I mean, some people are born into wealth and you need money to be able to do things, and maybe they get off to a better start in comparison to someone born into poverty. But that's really just a starting point. But if you were born into poverty and you had the belief and I guess the real drive to create something and to be something and to do something in the world, there's nothing really going to stop you from being able to do those things. It might take you longer. It might be one heck of a challenging journey for you. But if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're absolutely right. So I want us to start thinking about what are the types of beliefs that you have about yourself and the goals that you're setting that may stop you and keep you trapped, just like that elephant is trapped, to stop you from progressing and becoming more of the man that you're created to be. So what is a belief? A belief is really a thought that has been reinforced. And it's usually a thought that you've had from childhood that we talked about before. I was working with a client the other day, and one of the things that he was struggling with was procrastination. And as we talked, we actually figured out that the procrastination was coming from an event that happened when he was in primary school. And when he was in primary school, he put in a lot of effort in a test that he was doing. And he put a lot of effort in and he got, he failed the test. Not only did he fail the test, but his teacher said something to him that made him believe that he was stupid and that it was his fault that he was stupid and that that would never change. So he had this core limiting belief that he was stupid. And if you look at this table for an example of how our beliefs are reinforced. So the belief that he has is the tabletop of I am stupid. And through his life, he had many different reference points that he could look back at that reinforced the idea that he was stupid. And it was usually to do with school, and it was usually to do with putting in effort and failing. So those reference points are the legs that keep the table of belief solid and keep it reinforced in your mind. So when you look at your own beliefs, you might have a similar belief. You might have a belief that I'm not good enough. And as you look at that belief and examine that belief, you'll have several different reference points, several different table legs that keeps that belief solid in your mind. But you have to remember this. Be careful what you believe. Be careful what you believe because it's your beliefs that shape and mold your life. And remember that a belief is actually just a thought that happened at one point that's been reinforced and has evidence behind it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. So we got to become like investigators into our own beliefs. If you think that you're stupid, then your unconscious mind will prove that you are. So the thinker thinks and the prover proves. So the conscious mind thinks and the unconscious mind proves why you're right. So if you start getting into the habit of changing your beliefs now and changing that I'm not good enough to I am powerful beyond measure or I am more than good enough, then your mind actually, your unconscious mind has to go and find reference points to reference the new positive belief. Um, the thing about the belief as well is that there's only ever positive intent behind your limiting beliefs. Your mind wants to protect you, and it's a survival instinct. So, in that example that I gave of the fellow that I was working with, he had this belief of, I am stupid. That belief was keeping him safe because the feeling of being stupid was creating the belief of being stupid was creating feelings of shamefulness, of disconnection, of anger, of regret. And it's those feelings that this negative belief is protecting him from. So what he learned to do was he learned that in order to protect himself from ever feeling guilty or ashamed, that he would procrastinate, he would put things off, he would not follow through on things. Because if he didn't follow through on things and if he procrastinated on things, he never had to put himself in a position where he would be triggered, where that belief would be triggered, and where he would feel not good enough, and that he would feel that he was stupid. So there's positive intent. So this isn't about blaming and trying to figure out what all our negative things is to feel bad. All of our limiting beliefs and all of our limiting behaviors are there just to protect ourselves. But the thing is, to create the change that you want to create now, you got to change these beliefs, okay? Because up until this point, they've got you to where you're at, but to get to the next level of success that you want, you got to change the beliefs. And that's exactly what we're going to look at. The most powerful beliefs that you can have is any belief that starts with I am, because I am is a statement of identity. And sometimes, we have these I am statements that just aren't true. So one of the exercises that we will be doing is looking at any of the I am beliefs that you currently have. So we all have, so going back to that logical levels of change, to change at the level of identity is so crucially important. And I guess the metaphor that I have for this is a little bit like a thermostat. So if you set a thermostat to 20, what happens is you set it to 20, the boiler, if it drops below 20, the boiler kicks in. And the boiler then, pumps water around your house, heats up your radiators until the heat gets back up to 20 again. And then it'll cut off once it hits 20, and then it'll drop. The temperature naturally drops again, the heat kicks in, and brings it back up to 20 again. So this thermostat is a controlling agent. Okay, it controls the temperature in the room. Your self-image, how you see yourself, and the beliefs that you have about yourself is a little bit like a thermostat. Whatever image you have on the screen of your mind about yourself and who you are and what's capable for you, that is set like a thermostat, and you will never get beyond what is set on your own self-image. You'll never get beyond that until you make a conscious decision to change your own self-image. So I could go in and change that thermostat to 40, and now it's set at 40. It's changed. the heating, the rooms will heat up to 40, but it'll never go over that. So I want you to think about who you believe you are. What are the I am statements? How do you see yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you see yourself as successful? Do you see yourself as a loving husband? Do you see yourself as a caring father? What is it that you have on the screen of your mind? Even now, if you just take a moment to close your eyes, and as you close your eyes, just allow an image to pop up of you. And what is that image like? Just pay attention to it. What do you look like? Do you look fit? Do you look healthy? Do you look old? Do you look young? Are you smiling? Are you not? Are you angry? Are you sad? What's going on? Because your own self-image and how you see yourself drives everything. So if you see yourself as somebody who isn't, if you want to go into business and set up a business, or if you want to be a manager, if you want to be a director, or whatever it might be when it comes to your work, unless you see yourself as a person that can have and do and be those things, you're never going to make it. And that's just the reality, because that's what our self-image does. That's what it's there for. So we are in this, as we wrap up this session, when we're looking at your beliefs, we're going to be changing those beliefs so that your self-image can begin to change. So this is one of the exercises that I want you to do. And we're just coming to an end now. So I want you just to take a moment and think about all of the I am statements that you have about yourself. Just allow it to flow. Maybe do that exercise, close your eyes, see yourself on the screen of your mind, and then just write whatever comes to your mind. Some of the things that you believe about yourself might be positive as well. Happy days. If you have positive I am statements, write those down as well, because that's so good. So write down as many beliefs that you have about yourself as possible. And then what I want you to do is circle the ones that are negative, the beliefs that you have about yourself that are negative, and just go through these questions. Has this belief been detrimental or beneficial to me in my life? Write your answer down. Has this belief been indoctrinated into me? So has it been conditioned into you? If yes, what age? And did you ever consciously choose to believe it? If so, when did you? And why did you choose to believe it? Because again, when you were young and when you were being conditioned, you never maybe made a conscious decision to believe those things, because it happened unconsciously. But maybe some point when we were in your teens, you actually chose to believe I am stupid or I'm not good enough. So write the answers to that down. Question 3. What has been the advantage of having this belief? Again, there's a positive intent behind everything. What has been the advantage of having this belief? How has it served you? How has it helped you? What did you gain from having this belief? What did I avoid by having this belief? And who would I be without this belief? Who would I be without this belief? So take 5 to 10 beliefs, I am statements, and go through those questions. I'm also, guys, going to send you something. It's another exercise around belief change. So we can begin to change some of these beliefs that you've identified and choose what it is, choose a more uplifting, more powerful belief that's going to help you achieve the success that you want to achieve in life. Guys, thank you so much for listening this evening. There's quite a lot in that. Some of the stuff I know is a repeat of things that I've said before, but you should be at a different place where you're hearing it differently. And it's always good to repeat, because repetition is one of the ways to get into the unconscious mind. So listen, hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week as we delve a little bit deeper into this Mind Fit program. We're coming towards a close. So I'm so excited to see how far you guys have come. Adios, guys. Have a great week. And if you need me at any stage, you can reach out in the WhatsApp group. And yeah, see you all very soon. I'm going to stop this and end. Adios. Bye.